Rujhan.
Welcome back. Hope you're having a good morning so far. We definitely are, because it is, the SGX Nifty is suggesting that we'll have a green start today, and it's a truncated week. One of those rare weeks where we have only 3 working days, so we're making the most of that. But let's get talking about one of the big headlines globally, which is the way Brent crude has moved. In a flash of a pan, Brent crude is now back at $85 a barrel. So a big move is what we saw, about a 6% move. Look at that right now on Brent. We'll tell you the reasons for that. Manisha Gupta is here to give us, an outline on what all happened in the last 48 hours. Manisha, over to you.
Oh, well, absolutely. All of that happened yesterday on a Sunday for us. And, the movement today hasn't come in as a surprise. And we opened Asia 7% up on crude oil prices. It's 5.5% on the higher side right now, reacting to the surprise production cut from OPEC and allies of around 1.16 million barrels per day. Almost everybody, 100% bet was that OPEC and allies will not do anything. So this is definitely a surprise. And we have seen prices gain up from a 15-month lows of $70 a barrel to 85 on your screens right now. It is trading at a 1-month highs too. So the total volume cuts on what you see from OPEC is at 3.6 million barrels per day, which is 3.7% of the global demand. So that's a big number coming in from there. In the last couple of weeks, in any case, we have been dealing with China demand rebounding. 400,000 barrels per day of exports from Turkey also are halted because of legal disputes there. So there are supply concerns now coming into the market. And with the U.S. inflation also slowing, that tells you that perhaps U.S. will not be as aggressive with rate hikes. So almost everything seems to be supporting the crude oil prices right now. And Goldman Sachs, immediately after the OPEC and allies announcement, has come out with a new forecast where they are suggesting that the crude prices will average $95 a barrel in this year and $100 a barrel of an average in the next year. So that does give you a big range and huge volatility and much more bullishness from here in prices.
All right, Manisha, thanks very much for that. Do note we will connect with David Lennox of Fat Profits in a short while to discuss the big jump that we've seen in oil prices. Well, that's coming up in a bit from now. But here and now, let's focus on the big story, which is going to also be auto sales numbers. Sonia, I think two-wheelers have shown some strength, right?
Overall, the numbers were not too bad.
Yeah.
We were expecting worse. And given that there is a slowdown underway in the rural market, etc., it was not a bad showing. So I'll tell you why. For Maruti, the March sales were much better than what Nomura was expecting. Even for the full year, right, Maruti recorded its highest ever annual sales and highest ever annual exports in FY23. Total annual sales exceeded 19.5 lakh units. The total March sales, though, were flat, but not bad given what we've seen. We were actually expecting a fall this time around at 1.70 lakh units. Hero MotoCorp as well, sales were better than what the street was expecting at 5.19 lakh units. Nomura's estimate was 4.9, and it's a sales growth of 15.5% on a year-on-year basis. Eicher Motor as well, the Volvo Eicher commercial vehicle sales were not bad at all, 35% growth. Yes, there was a slowdown in Royal Enfield sales, just a 7% growth is what we saw, but I think that was something that the street was expecting, given that there is, inquiries have reduced in the premium end as well. For TVS Motor, the overall sales growth was in low single digit. It was dragged down by very weak exports. Exports were down 46%, so I'm going with red over there for TVS Motor. And for Tata Motors, you had a total sales growth of 1.7% at 90,867 units. Commercial vehicles were under pressure. Passenger vehicles were up just 4%. That's peculiar for Tata Motors. So the growth is definitely slowing down. So I'm going with red over there.
All right, Sonia, I'm tracking 2 companies which have come out with their updates. And yes, a cement company and the largest one here in India, UltraTech Cement, they have come out with their cement update, the sales operational performance for the first time ever. And if they come out with an update, boy, it had to be good, and it is very, very good. So the grey cement sales in India for a single quarter has clocked closer around 30 million tons. That's the normal cement. Besides that, if you club in the white cement, then they've given their numbers as well. So grey cement sales are up close to around 15%. The industry is likely to have grown by around 10 to around 12%. So UltraTech Cement for the past quarter, they have outgrown the industry, so they've gained some market share as well. And for the past year, they've clocked 100 million tons. Remember, this is only grey cement volumes, so that gets a thumbs up as well. For the quarter 4, they were functioning at close to 95% or thereabouts, a rough analysis suggests. So that one opens up in the green. And besides that, there's a price increase that's been pushed through. So, it'll react to that as well. APL Apollo Tubes, well, expecting green out there as well because the largest player again in their space, they have done quite well. Total sales volumes up close to around 18% odd. It's the highest ever quarterly sales number that they've reported. And because of the new Raipur unit, which is scaled up and capacity utilization is around 28%, that's what's giving them a thumbs up. For the year, they've clocked close to around 2.28 million tons. So green on both those two stocks. But defense stocks continue to remain in focus. Vivek joins us to fill us in with that. Morning, Vivek.
Well, good morning. Quite a few different stocks will be on the radar on the back of FY23 updates that they've given, year-ending updates. First on our list is Bharat Electronics. Expect some green there. Now, the company's FY23 revenues have jumped up almost 15% on a year-on-year basis. Order book quite healthy at 60,500 crore. And FY23 order inflow came in at close to 20,200. Now, reacting to these numbers, Antique says that the revenue growth as well as order inflow are both in line with what the management had guided for earlier. HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics, FY23 revenues have jumped up almost 8% on a year-on-year basis on a strong base. Order book is at 82,000 crores and FY23 order inflow has come in at close to 26,000 crore. What Antique says is that, the revenue booking is largely in line with what they were anticipated. However, the order inflow has come in below estimates on the back of lumpy bookings that the company is actually witnessing. Also keep an eye out for Garden Reach Shipbuilders. FY23 revenues up almost 45%, coming close to the 2,550 crore range. BHEL, some positive news flow coming in there. The company has received a letter of intent for supply of strategic equipment for the defense forces. Order size of close to 3,700 crore. The time period is quite long. It's spread out over the next 12 years.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. So lots coming through in the defense space. It refuses to move out of the news. But let's go across to Abhishek. He's tracking CSB Bank. There is an update there as well. Abhishek, how's it looking?
Well, the operational business update is very strong for CSB Bank. It continues for second quarter in a row. The deposits are up 21.5% YOY and more than 8% sequentially. The CASA growth has been phenomenal given the fact that CASA ratio has improved on a sequential basis as well. Loan growth pretty robust at 30.3% YOY and about 11.75% quarter on quarter. Calculation shows that the CD ratio or credit to deposit ratio has improved by 275 basis points on a sequential basis. So they have been able to command on yields as the CD ratio has improved. It also suggests that net interest margin may remain healthy. Gold loan portfolio that's grown robustly by 48% YOY and about 10.5% sequentially. However, the share has declined by about 50 basis points quarter on quarter, given the fact that non-gold portfolio growth has been pretty robust at about 12.9% quarter on quarter. Back to you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Abhishek, for that. Well, here's a quick recap of our top stocks with positive news flow. There's ONGC, Eicher Motors, Maruti, Hero MotoCorp, Escorts, Kubota, UltraTech Cement, APL Apollo Tubes, defense stocks and CSB Bank. While the only stock with negative news today is Tata Motors on the back of subdued low single-digit growth that we've seen for some of their key segments. We'll slip into a quick break. On the other side of the break, Prakash Diwan will join in for some fundamental stock analysis. We'll also talk about the big headline, which is the move in crude. David Lennox of Fat Profits will discuss the big jump.